what's wild to me too is like they'll tell you, you get a $4,000, $5,000 ring. And then they get, for the 10-year anniversary, we get a new ring or some shit like that, an upgrade.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
fine.
I don't think.
But if your ring already costs $5,000, bitch, what you need an upgrade for?
Nah, don't you? I don't think.
What?
I think that's perfectly fine. I think you move up in life, and as you move up, the things that come in more quality for yourself. And I think you upgrade all these little things. Like, you don't keep the same TV from 10, 15 years ago. You're gonna upgrade it eventually, right? Oh no,
That's
the TV
valid.
still works. Use it.
Some people are like that though, but yeah, that's valid. I got another beautiful question. Might be a little salty wounds for the ladies out there. Engagement rings. The cost of an engagement ring. How much should a man spend on an engagement ring? Some people are saying from between $2,000 to $4,000, and some of the ladies out there are asking for a $10K ring. I think that shit is wild. They need if a woman's asking you to buy a $10K ring, I think you need to reevaluate the situation. First, see who you're talking to. Do they look like the type of person that can afford a $10K ring for you? If you're asking for that and that person don't got it like that, maybe you should really think about what you're in the relationship.
I think you're going in depth.
I was saying my shit. Yeah.
I was recently listening to women talk, and I saw that a lot of women expect a much higher costing ring than the ring that they get. So $2K, they wanted a $5K. $4K, they wanted a $6K or $8K or a $10K. And it made me start to think, like, maybe as men, you know what I mean? We're viewing this completely different than women. Or maybe this whole thing has gone ass up, and like this market of buying women rings is just, I personally, I don't think there is any price limit that could be set for the person that I'm gonna want to spend the rest of them. But that's a very special person, right? Like, I don't think there's a price. I'll pay pretty much anything, but I gotta be realistic too. Like, if you want a $10,000 ring, you're just gonna get the ring, and then we'll get married in like my bedroom over here, and we'll get this just officiated. You know what I mean? You gotta be realistic with what we're gonna be able to do. I think, for some people, money isn't an issue. And I think that's more of the direction that those people are going. They aren't going to marry someone who isn't going to be able to finance that for them.
So here's one of those things that's always been interesting to me. There is some kind of relation between how much money you spend on a wedding total and your divorce rate. And it's something interesting. It's like according to here, it's if you spend $1,000 less on your wedding, let's say you're having a super low-key my backyard wedding, you're 53% less likely to get divorced, while those who spend anywhere between $1,000 and $5,000 were 18% less likely to part ways. But on the other end of the spectrum, if a couple drop like $10,000 or $20,000, 29% more likely to end in divorce. Like, there's this thing, you spend more money on a wedding, you spend a lot of money on that kind of stuff, you're probably going to have some kind of like marriage issues. And it's probably a real simple like answer as to why, though. If you spend money you don't have before you get into your marriage, you're going to have financial issues, and financial issues are like the number one reason for marriages ending.
Yeah, you're going to be entering your marriage in the negative, which at that point, like I said, I don't even think you should be doing that. Like, I think you got to be super realistic with your partner. And I think if your partner has unrealistic expectations, you either need to talk to them about it, or that may not be the partner for you. You know what I mean? Because let's say you have a partner that does want a 10K ring, 15K ring, and you do get her the 2K ring. That's going to cause issues down the line. It's just gonna cause issues down the line. Remarks will be made. That won't be the last time that you hear about it.
I don't understand the whole thing, man. I would not. There's no part of me that would want to wear $10,000 worth of my money on my person where I could potentially lose it, get it stolen, anything like that. It just something about like spending that much money on like like an accessory essentially. It just doesn't. It breaks my brain. I don't understand it.
But I do think that on the other spectrum, you can't cheap out and buy like a pawn shop fucking engagement ring that's already been put together and shit. Like that also is not cool. There was a video floating around Black Twitter. A guy was with this girl for like 10 years, 9 years, and he got her a ring and he proposed to her in the car. And she's like, I don't want that shit. And he's like, what? Well, you don't want it? She's like, no, I don't want that shit. And he's like, why? And he's like, because look at where you're giving it to me. You're inside a fucking car. You didn't plan anything out. You didn't give a fuck about it. I was like, where was this 5 years ago? Where was this? You know what I mean? She's like, nah, I don't want it. And I think you can run into that situation where if you run a relationship dry, like you can, there may be a time where you won't be able to come back from it, but it is a big thing for women, that proposal, making it special, thinking about it and putting time and effort into it. I think if you do a lot of those things, I still think you need to get a pretty, like, I think maybe 2 carat diamond. Maybe.
See, that's the problem too, though. Like. I don't know where the standard came from, or this and that had to be a little bit more, but like the effort in putting into a planning, a lot of, I think almost all girls or all women will love. Like that's one thing, right? Some of them won't even care like the size of the carat, how many diamonds, or how many this, or the price. Some of them don't care, but some do. And it's nothing bad, you know. We're all bougie on our own, like sort of things. Like we buy, like
For sure.
I'm bougie on electronics. I want the top shit TV. I want, you know what I mean? Those bougie on clothing and bikes. You don't want shitty bikes, shitty clothing. You know, Mateo wants a nice motorcycle, nice gym equipment. You know, there's shit that we're all bougie on. The problem is when it comes to a wedding ring or an engagement ring, if the man gets something cheap, oh my God, like her homegirls are gonna talk about it.
Yes.
Like they'll be like, "Oh, that man cheap. That man."
It's crazy because the ring can't just impress her. The ring has to impress her friends. That's crazy. That's really you not really buying it for her. You really just buying it for hype levels. Like the hype train is going to be activated when I open this.
Well, it's because our friends have this insight into us. They can see if you're not feeling something completely. Ooh. So if they can pick up on those little vibes that like maybe their homegirl's not happy with the size of the diamond or the color of the diamond.
So
or
then why make a bad comment to it then? Just say, nah, that should, you know what I mean?
I think we all gas each other up like this. We all want our friends to live their best life and get what they want and deserve from life.
Why would Lena say no? You remember? Say no.
She was a fucking
Why would she do that? She did it though.
She did it.
It's something about it.
Is there a stigma associated to taking your girl with you to go help you pick out the ring? Is that a thing?
I don't think you should do that. I think you should just. There's conversations in a relationship. There'll be conversations.
I've got some complicated like thoughts in general though. Like I'm not a fan of the public the public proposals. I think it puts a lot of pressure on people to do any kind of like public proposal like that.
Yo, shout out Guadalupe, all right? He brought my man a sandwich.
Man,
you weren't going to get tight until you saw it was a piece of food, and then you got a smile on your face.
I was getting tight. I was like, damn, bro,
shout out to Guadalupe, yo. That's my boy.
You keep dropping man's name and shit. What's wrong with this fucking guy here,
bro? He's a cool guy, all right?
Damn. Start dropping names for your whole family in this shit.
My bad.
Dropping names. But no, yeah, fucking, it definitely goes like, in the way of if you buy a ring, like you know what she likes. Like throughout the year, I knew what my significant
maybe
other at the time. Like,
maybe you know what she likes. Maybe your girl doesn't wear a lot of jewelry on the regular or something. You're just shooting blind.
no, but you ask her like, oh, like if you were ever to get married, like what's a dream? Like these are questions you ask. I'm not saying ask her the same year you're gonna marry her, you know, but you just have casual conversations about it.
I don't know. I think if someone was buying me something that I was going to wear on my person, there would be no part of me that would be upset about them just being like, hey, just come with me and help me pick out something.
I mean, yeah,
For
some
sure.
people like doing that though. They want to get them something they like, but then they can beast. And when you start being cheap there in front of them, you're gonna, if
That sets the mood, yeah.
If you're having the realistic conversations with your partner and you're not putting that bullshit of this is my finances, this is a man's finances, don't worry about my money situation. If you're being realistic with your partner, they should know what your fucking budget looks like realistically for you, for both of y'all, for you as a unit.
yeah,
They should have an idea of what your budget looks like.
Exactly. If you guys been together that long, you're gonna propose to her. She should know what your finances are already.
Like-
she
like
already
if you're-
knows.
Like if your man is working at fucking like Taco Bell or something, it's you should understand that your budget is probably not a $30,000 princess cut
There's
10-carat diamond or something.
There's some that don't think like that. That's the scary part, and that's the one where you as a man got to make a decision. Like, she know I'm over here flipping burgers and rolling up tacos. Like, you really think I'm gonna afford a princess cut, AA diamond, fucking flawless shit? No, like
I think that's less of a problem for poor people than it is for people who are in
the middle.
the mid and like the higher. I think that's more of a thing for them. I mean, my grandma don't even have an engagement ring. You know what I mean? Like they got together. There's a ring for marriage and that's it. I think
But
for poor
different
people
times, though.
it's a little bit different. And but I mean,
Different
even then,
times.
like I don't think anybody expects somebody from Burger King to get them a fucking 10K carrot. You know what I mean? I don't think like those expectations just aren't there.
I would assume as much. I would assume that people. I think for the most part, people are pretty like open about their finances and shit. Like,
Yeah.
it's hard to pretend to have more money than you actually do. Like, I've never tried doing it, but it sounds exhausting to try to do that.
But think about it. Like the median for men in our age is like 60,000.
I'm not even sure. I know yours is
50,000?
boosted a little bit too because you're up in NYC. So
What are you talking about? The regular salary for a man?
Oh,
Or for
our age.
anybody our age?
Yeah.
I think they
It's-
said it was like 50 to like 70 or some shit. Like
Yeah.
the average. And that's
So
crazy.
I
That's not
think,
even enough.
I think when your expectations are blown out of proportion like that, I think, there's time for a talk or there's time for like figuring out whether this is for you or not, whether this is going to be something that is sustainable. Because like I said, there are expectations in relationships. There's expectations in marriages. If someone is expecting to live a type of way and live a type of lifestyle and you cannot afford to give them that, it's going to become a problem in the relationship. If this person says, I want to go on one vacation every year and you got to make that happen, I mean, you know what I mean? I think
I don't
every
think that's
relationship,
bad,
there's
though.
like
I don't think that's
there's a give and take. I can't afford that.
yeah,
I
I don't think it's bad either to set those expectations or like tell people that what you like in your life.
And the vacation don't
but-
gotta
but-
be expensive either, though. Like,
But it'd be like if I was dating a girl and she told me within the next year I want to be off the grid and I want to live in the forest.
shit.
And I'd be like, well, that is not compatible with my lifestyle. So this is where we split our ways. Like I don't want. I'm not opposed to that. It's a much later stage of my life, but that's not where I want to be right now. I don't want to be in the middle of the woods, fucking
thank
like
you.
filtering my urine to drink water, whatever
Wiping
crazy
your ass with
off the
pine
grid
cones.
nonsense.
But no, yeah, those are all talks that you gotta have. But what's wild to me too is like they'll tell you you get a $4,000, $5,000 ring, and then they get for the 10-year anniversary we get a new ring or some shit like that, an upgrade.
That's cool.
That's
cool.
fine.
I don't think.
But if
I don't
your
think
ring
there's
already
nothing wrong
costs
with that.
$5,000, bitch, what you need an upgrade for?
Nah, don't you? I don't think.
What?
I think. Nah, I think that's perfectly fine. I think you move up in life, and as you move up, the things that come in more quality for yourself. And I think you upgrade all these little things. Like, you don't keep the same TV from 10, 15 years ago. You're gonna upgrade it eventually, right? Oh no,
That's
the TV
valid.
still works.
That's
Use it.
Some
Like,
people are
nah.
like that though, but yeah, that's valid.
Yeah.
As
Like, I think
technology increases, but it's a difference. That's not technology. That's fucking
Like, I mean,
women
jewelry.
love jewelry.
like
Women
the
love it.
TVs that we had as kids. You had to like hit the TVs to get them working. They had all kinds of kinks to when you're getting your fucking gaming setup going.
Yeah, I think it's just a difference of what we like and what women like. And I think women are more for, like, clothing and jewelry and accessories. I think that's their thing.
the biggest bullshit. They're not spending that much for our rings. That's the biggest bullshit. That's the second. That's bro. They're not spending 5-10 grand.
I mean, you could. This is where you could change the culture if you want. If you want to be treated to an engagement
Gotta
ring,
match
Tony,
the
like
energy.
you could make that happen. If you want your wedding band to have diamonds in it as a dude, go
Want a
for it.
line
Like
cut. I want line cuts all the way around my shit.
Just think
I don't
about
think there's anything wrong with doing that either. It's just setting the expectation. This is how we treat each other. You treat each other to jewelry, go for it. That sounds rad if that's your thing.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I agree. I just think a lot of people get lost in the sauce. Like, and I think
Yes.
weddings a scam in itself. bro.
social
Like,
media is another one where you're letting people outside your family, outside influences on your relationship with your partner. And I think some people can poison the well. And make comments that make you feel insecure and shit like that.
Facts.
And that's why I say you don't put everything on social media. I think some of the shit is intimate for yourself, for your family and friends. But some people's their social media is not just them. It's the whole world. You know
It's
what I
their
mean?
entire
And-
life.
yeah.
So I think you have to bring your scope down, and like I said, you have to like really talk to your partner about these things, and hopefully they understand where you're coming from. I would hope that everybody understands that.
It's just the conversation you got to have with your partner. That's all it is, really. But
Yep.
guys
Stop
want-
spending so much money on weddings.
bro, it doesn't. You don't need to spend
expensive.
10K on it. You don't.
Ooh,
Don't enter
that's-
marriage in debt. Minimize
that
as much
is-
debt as you can.
Go take. Matter of fact, have a small party and go on a bigger fucking honeymoon. Spend that shit on a honeymoon. Take a whole week, 2 weeks. Don't be caught in the hype of a fucking big wedding. I didn't do a big wedding. My shit was relaxed as fucked. But spend the money on the honeymoon. Go out, go live life. Don't fucking be in debt, trying to buy a house now, trying to start a family when you're 10, 15K in debt because you paid for a fucking wedding that lasted for 12 hours. Yeah, it's fine. Everybody came and have a good time, but fuck that shit.
Yeah, I personally, I would love to have all my friends there. Ideally, you want to, have the people that you love there. But I've helped my friend kind of plan his wedding, and when I saw that he was the venue that he wanted 10,000 up front and then like 7,000 after that, and I'm like, and I looked at the venue and I was like, that's it. I'm like, that's all you're getting for the and I was like, this shit just doesn't make sense to me. And that was just a venue. You need to get flowers. You need to get all sorts of shit. The shit probably ended up costing him $25,000 or
Yeah,
more.
you're talking decorations, you're talking catering, you're talking
With the ring
entertainment
included.
music.
Yeah, that's crazy, bro.
The open bar. If you're gonna have a nice wedding, you better have an open bar.
But
That's
you know
off
what? There
rip.
is something
I
very.
agree. I agree with that. Nothing pisses me off more than a cash bar at a fucking wedding,
fuck
dude.
out of here.
bullshit.
Open bar. Don't be that cheap. Don't be that cheap. Be cheap on the ring, damn it, but not on the fucking bar.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But
Sound like
a
alcoholics.
wedding is supposed to be a beautiful thing, right? In every culture, the wedding is supposed to be a ceremony. I think Indians do really beautiful weddings. I think, the wedding is a very beautiful thing. And I think it has to be special, right? But does it have to be $30,000 special when you're making $50,000 a year, $60,000 a year? I think you kind of need to think about that. I think for people who have the money for it, go for it.
People do
Make
save
it
though.
as-
People do save. Like couples will get together and be like, yo, let's start saving now for a wedding. and then they'll do it for like 4 or 5 years, and then they have like a $30,000-$40,000 wedding that they don't got to, you know what I mean? That's a smart way of doing it if that's what you want.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But